Hello everyone and welcome to this video where we will delve into further commands of the SWEETHOME 3D interior design program. In particular, we will see how to enrich, refine and set our project. In the previous guide, we saw how to change the colors and textures of objects, walls, floors and ceilings. Furthermore, we have included some elements from the exterior, characters and vehicles categories present within the object catalog. To modify the project, log in into the SWEETHOME 3D website by clicking on the forum page in the support category. Once you have entered your credentials in the appropriate space, click on Online. To open and modify our house, in my case named 02, click on the Modify button. After a few seconds, we will be able to visualize the villa exactly as we left it. And here is our project. Let's start by setting up the area at an urban level by building roads around the villa. In the exterior category, in the object repertoire, we can find a straight 2-lanes road, a 90-degree curved road, a smaller curved road, and a crossroad. To work at an urban planning level, I recommend that you reduce the view of the workspace by clicking on the command in the toolbar. We start by inserting a straight road that runs alongside the parking area of the house. If necessary, use the rotation icon to establish the direction. Subsequently, at the ends of this road, we place 2 curved roads direct towards the house, in order to build a path that can go around it. We continue the roof by entering 2 straight roads on both sides of the house. Just like the other elements seen previously, the roads can also be modified in the same way. For example, let's try to change the measurements of the last one inserted. We double-click on the road and in the sides category, we modify the width by entering a value of 1000 centimeters. We click on OK to save the changes and we adopt the same procedure for the road parallel to it, always establishing a measurement of 1000 centimeters. To these last roads, we add a crossroad for each. By using multiple curved roads, a roundabout can be developed. We insert 3 90-degree curved roads near the upper intersection and direct them with the rotation command to ensure continuity between them and with the cross. In this way, it is possible to obtain a roundabout. As regards the development of the second intersection, we can insert a curve on one side with the continuation of a straight road, and on the other a simple 2-lane road. To join these branches, we use 2 curved roads oriented in the shape of a C. To conclude the route, we insert a 2-lane road between the 2 crosses. These are the generated roads. Obviously, based on the project to be developed, it is possible to indulge and extend the urban planning aspect further. But it is important to keep in mind that in the case of the online program, the more the project is extended outside the house, the further we will move away from it. In fact, even in our case, by zooming in within the 3D preview, it will not be possible to get too close to the elements of the house, unless they are selected with the Select Object in Plan tool. Within the exterior category, we can also find straight, curved, and interchange tracks, useful for the construction of railways, which can be designed as we did for the roads. Before inserting other elements, let's see how to allow the access to the streets for this vehicle, positioned inside the parking area of the house. We can see from the 3D preview that the raised sidewalk prevents entry and exit. Therefore, we proceed by citing a strip of road based on the size of the car park. With this icon, we modify the width and leave the depth unchanged at 1045 centimeters. We select the modified road. Click on Copy, then on Paste. Modify the new part of the road in relation to the width of the car park and position it between the two road elements to close the route again. We continue by double-clicking on the new part of the road generated and click on Modify in the Material section. We select the left sidewalk, the left border, and the left continuous line and make them invisible by ticking the box on the side. We check the result from the 3D preview and click on OK to close the window and again to apply the changes. Now let's click on the parking area with the Select Object in Plan tool, and with the icons present we modify the depth until we reach the road. Finally, we double-click on the surface and assign the same texture as the road, maybe the dark asphalt, and click on OK to save the changes. This is the result. Now we can continue by setting up the streets with objects, vehicles, and characters. In the exterior category, we also find the pedestrian crossings that we can place inside the streets. Personally, I thought of inserting them on the roadways that run alongside the house. Within the same section, we can find the traffic lights to be inserted, for example, near pedestrian crossings, and benches to be placed on the sidewalks. We can decorate some areas of the route by bordering the roads with trees, bushes, edges, or stones. By selecting the lights category, we can insert street lamps and porch lamps into the project. Finally, all we have to do is add the vehicles to the streets, selecting them from the respective category within the object catalog. We can see that there are empty areas left near the house and bordered by the streets. Personally, I thought of transforming this area into green areas, leisure and play areas, or building further small structures such as an outbuilding or a garage. First, we generate the new surfaces with the Create Rooms command. As always, we click once to establish the first vertices and twice to close. We can transform the area on the left, or the largest one, as a play area. First, we assign a texture to the surface, double-clicking on it and select one from those proposed. In this case, I would use a texture that reproduces a green lawn. Click on OK to save the changes. Now we can select the exterior category from the drop-down menu of the object catalog and insert a swing, children games, slides, and a sand pit. Finally, we enrich the environment with trees and bushes. If we want to consider the second areas as part of the house, it will be necessary to insert a fence. Within the exterior category, there are different types of fences that can be used within the project. Regarding this area, I thought of recreating a small football field. With the same procedure used in the previous situations, we assign a texture that reproduces the effect of grass and insert 2 football goals inside the surface, which can be selected from the exterior category, and a ball which we can instead find in the miscellaneous section. This is the overall result of the changes made to the exterior of the house. Now let's see how to create a small balcony. To create a balcony, we first select the level 1 of the house. We could think about creating a balcony on the front of the house and a second on the back. Personally, I thought of the first balcony inside the double bedroom. To create it on the front of the house, it will be necessary to delete this window and place the wardrobe inside the room in its place. With the Create Rooms command, we establish a surface of 250 centimeters wide by clicking on the internal side of the walls, a depth of 110 centimeters by clicking on the outside of the walls of the house and double-click to close. We assign a texture to the flooring by double-clicking on it. Choose, for example, paving stone and save the changes by clicking on OK. Now it's time to select the doors and windows category and insert a single or even a double French window. Once inserted, we modify the elevation using the icon, so as to position the beginning of the window at the height of the flooring. I also remind you that by double-clicking on the window, we can change its opening by clicking on the respective button and interacting with the 3D preview that will appear once the command has been selected. Now, all we have to do is add a safety rail that can be selected within the miscellaneous section. Let's choose one of the different railings proposed, select two of the same type, drag them and release them above the balcony. We double-click on one and in relation to the measurements of the balcony, enter the width value equal to 240 centimeters. Save the changes and place it on the longest side of the balcony. We repeat the same process on the second railing by entering a width of 90 centimeters and positioning it on the shortest side. We copy and paste to obtain an identical one to place on the remaining side. And here is our little balcony. To create a new balcony overlooking the back of the house, it is possible to repeat the same procedure, or we simply use the copy and paste commands and rearrange the elements used in the creation. Once the balconies have been established, let's see how to create a roof different from the one present at the moment. First, we select level 2 of our house and delete the roof window inserted in a previous lesson. We select the miscellaneous section and insert one of the roof proposed by the program. For example, let's use this polygonal roof. Click, drag and drop. As we can see from the 3D preview, this inserted element does not represent the final roof, but only a part of it, and it is not possible to apply it in our project without making changes. First of all, we establish the elevation with the appropriate icon to the value 0 so as to make it match level 2. Now we double-click to modify its dimensions. Taking into account that the sides of the house are approximately 1,100 centimeters and 800 centimeters, we choose the roof sides in excess. For example, a width of 1120 and a depth of 410 centimeters, since the element subjected to the modification corresponds to half of the final roof. As for the height, it can be chosen according to your taste, but to obtain a proportionate roof based on the house built will be better to perhaps choose a value around 250 centimeters. Once the quantities have been modified, click on OK to save the changes. This is our portion of the roof, which will be completed with another identical one, obtained using the copy and paste commands. Once the second part has been generated, we place the two elements side by side with the Select Object in Plan command and place the final roof above the house. Finally, we assign a color or a texture and enrich it by inserting elements such as a TV antenna or a chimney, always inserting the object on level 2. And here is our result. Lastly, let's see how to change the 3D preview settings. With the right mouse button, we click on the preview and select the Modify 3D View command. Within this panel, it is possible to set the project by assigning a color or texture to both the ground and the sky, as previously done, and setting the brightness of the lights and the transparency of the walls with the appropriate sliders. We can say that since SWEETHOME 3D is a program focused more on interior design, the modification of the 3D preview and the setup of the external space can be considered as an additional aspect for renderings, photos and videos made inside the house, to glimpse through windows or open doors the environment surrounding the structure. With these last changes, we concluded the lesson here. I remind you that having logged into the SWEETHOME 3D website, your project will be saved automatically, so you can close the window without saving anything. Thanks for watching the video and see you next time. If you want to stay updated on new guides, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support us, subscribe to the channel as a supporter.